Imagine being on an unfamiliar road, surrounded by dangers you cannot control. Now imagine having by your side an infinitely powerful protector who never sleeps, never tires, and never takes his eyes off you. This is the central promise of Psalm 121, one of the most beloved and recited texts in the Holy Bible. Psalm 121 is considered by many scholars and believers to be the most powerful psalm of divine protection. Throughout the centuries, millions of people have turned to these sacred words in moments of fear, uncertainty, and danger. Soldiers carried it to battlefields, travelers recited it on dangerous roads, parents prayed it over their children, and the sick found strength and hope in it. But what makes this psalm so special? Why does it resonate so deeply in the human heart through the millennia? In this text, we will explore every verse, every promise, and every layer of meaning contained in this majestic song of trust in God. Historical context: the Songs of Ascent. Psalm 121 is part of a special collection known as the Songs of Ascent, or Pilgrim Songs, which encompasses Psalms 120 to 134. These were sung by Israelite pilgrims as they traveled to Jerusalem to celebrate the great religious festivals: Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. The journey to Jerusalem was not easy. The roads were dangerous, filled with thieves, wild animals, and adverse weather conditions. Travelers faced days of walking under the scorching desert sun or through steep mountains. Jerusalem is situated in a mountainous region, and pilgrims literally ascended to the holy city. In this context, Psalm 121 gains even more significance. It was sung by people who knew what it was to face real dangers, who truly depended on divine protection to reach their destination safely. It was not just a theoretical prayer, but a practical and spiritual necessity. Verse 1, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. The psalm begins with a powerful image: I will lift up my eyes to the mountains. From where shall my help come? This phrase can be interpreted in two profound ways. The first interpretation is literal. The pilgrim, still far from Jerusalem, looks to the mountains ahead, where the holy city and God's temple are situated. The mountains represent the destination, but also the obstacles that need to be overcome. The second interpretation recognizes that in the Canaanite culture of the time, many people worshipped gods in the high places, pagan shrines built on mountaintops. The psalmist may be asking a rhetorical question: should I seek help from these false gods in the mountains? The answer comes immediately in the next verse: no, help comes from the Lord. This question also reflects our human condition. When we face problems, where do we look first? To our own strength? To other people? To temporary solutions? The psalmist invites us to look higher, beyond the mountains, to the Creator of the mountains. Verse 2, the Creator of heaven and earth. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. This is the first great declaration of faith in the psalm. Help does not come from limited local gods, does not come from amulets or spells, does not come only from military forces or human strategies. Help comes from the Lord, and not just any Lord, but from the one who created absolutely everything. By calling God Creator of heaven and earth, the psalmist is affirming his unlimited power. If he created the vast galaxies, he can take care of you. If he formed the highest mountains and the deepest oceans, no problem of yours is too big for him. If he brought all creation into existence with his word, he can certainly protect his creation. This is also a declaration of exclusivity. There are no other gods. There is only one Creator, and it is from him that all help comes. This statement would have been revolutionary in a polytheistic age, and continues to be powerful today in a world that seeks security in so many empty sources. Verse 3, the God who does not sleep. He will not allow your foot to slip. He who keeps you will not slumber. Here the specific promises of protection begin. The first is that God will not allow our feet to slip. In the literal journey of the pilgrims, a misstep on mountain trails could mean a fatal fall. Spiritually, it represents God keeping us from stumbling, from falling into temptation, from losing our way. But the even more surprising promise is that God will not slumber. Unlike human guards who need rest, unlike the pagan gods of mythology who slept or got distracted, the true God is always alert. He does not need sleep. He does not tire. His watch over you is constant, uninterrupted, eternal. Think about it. When you are sleeping, God is awake taking care of you. When you are worried in the early morning hours, He is there. When you are unconscious in surgery, He does not lose sight of you even for a moment. This is incomparable security. Verse 4, the constant vigilance over Israel. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. This verse reinforces and amplifies the previous promise. Not only will not slumber, doze lightly, but also, nor sleep, deep sleep. It is a double negative that emphasizes God's absolute vigilance. There is no moment, not even a second, when he is not fully conscious and attentive. The term keeper of Israel reminds us that God has a covenant commitment to his people. He is not just a distant observer, but a personally involved protector. He chose Israel as his people, and that choice comes with divine responsibility for protection. For Christians, this promise extends through Christ. Those who are grafted into the olive tree of Israel through faith in Jesus are also under this umbrella of divine protection. The keeper of Israel is also your personal keeper. Verse 5. God is your protective shade. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The image of God as shade is particularly powerful in the Middle Eastern context. In a land where the scorching sun can kill, where the heat is relentless, shade is not just comfort, it is survival. God is not just a distant protector. He is so close that he is like your own shadow. The mention of on your right hand also has profound meaning. The right was considered the side of honor and protection. A warrior held his shield with his left hand and his weapon with his right. To have someone on your right meant to have protection on your most vulnerable side. God assumes this position of personal protector. Furthermore, there is an aspect of intimacy here. A shadow cannot be separated from the person who casts it. Likewise, God is so close to you that he cannot be separated from you. Where you go, he goes. His presence is constant and unshakable. Verse 6, protection day and night. The sun will not strike you by day nor the moon by night. This verse addresses both literal and symbolic dangers of day and night. Literally, the desert sun could cause sunstroke and death. The moon, although it did not cause literal physical harm, was associated in ancient popular belief with negative mystical influences, hence the word lunatic from lunar. Symbolically, this promise covers all dangers, known and unknown. The sun represents the obvious threats we can see, the clear problems we face. The moon represents hidden dangers, the threats that come when we cannot see, the fears that arise in the darkness of uncertainty. God promises protection against both, the visible and invisible dangers, the real threats and the perceived threats, the problems of the day and the anxieties of the night. No moment, no circumstance is outside his protective care. Verse 7, kept from all evil. The Lord will keep you from all evil, he will keep your soul. This is perhaps the most comprehensive promise of the entire psalm. All evil leaves nothing out. It is not just some evils or most evils, but all evil. Nothing can touch you without God's permission. But there is an important distinction here: God keeps your soul. The Hebrew word used here is nephesh, which refers to the vital essence of the person, their spiritual life. God is promising that no matter what happens physically, your eternal essence is safe. This does not necessarily mean we will never face physical difficulties or suffering. It means that even in those moments, our soul, our eternal identity, our relationship with God, our spiritual destiny remains protected. Evil may try, but it cannot destroy what God keeps. This truth has been lived by countless martyrs throughout history who, even facing physical death, had deep peace knowing their souls were safe in God's hands. Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul, Jesus said, echoing this same truth. Verse 8, protection in all circumstances. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. This final verse closes the psalm with a promise of complete and eternal protection. Going out and coming in is a Hebrew idiomatic expression that means all your activities, or everything you do. It is a way of saying, in every step, in every movement, in every decision, God is keeping you. Going out may represent the beginning of new journeys, new projects, new challenges. Coming in may represent returning home, completing tasks, resting. Both are covered by divine protection. When you go out into the world in the morning, he keeps you. When you return home at night, he is there. And this protection is not temporary. From this time forth and forevermore, extends the promise beyond this mortal life. God's protection does not end at death, it continues into eternity. You are safe now, you will be safe in the future, and you will be safe forever. The power of Psalm 121 in practice. Throughout history, Psalm 121 has been an incomparable source of strength for God's people. During World War II, Jewish soldiers recited this psalm before entering combat. Christian missionaries memorized it before departing for dangerous foreign lands. Parents pray it over their children when they leave home. There are countless testimonies of people who experienced inexplicable protection after praying this psalm. Accidents avoided by inches, diseases miraculously healed, dangers supernaturally diverted. Although God is not a magic charm, He hears the prayers of His people and responds according to His perfect will. But the power of Psalm 121 is not only in the words themselves, but in the reality they proclaim. When we recite this psalm, we are not casting a spell. We are declaring our faith in the nature and character of God. We are reminding ourselves of who He is and what He has promised. How to apply Psalm 121 in your life. 1. Memorize it. When you store God's word in your heart, it is available in moments of need. You can recite this psalm during anxiety attacks, moments of fear, or dangerous situations. 2. Pray it daily. Make Psalm 121 part of your devotional routine. Pray it in the morning as a declaration of faith for the day, or at night as gratitude for the protection received. 3. Pray it over others. Use this psalm in your intercessory prayers. When friends or family are facing difficulties, pray the promises of this psalm over them. 4. Meditate on it. Don't just read the words quickly. Stop at each verse, ponder its meaning, let the truth penetrate deeply into your soul. 5. Declare it. There is power in the verbal proclamation of God's word. In moments of spiritual battle, declare aloud the truths of Psalm 121. Addressing objections. What about when bad things happen? A legitimate question arises. If God promises protection from all evil, why do good people suffer? Why do faithful Christians face tragedies? Why do those who love God get sick, lose loved ones, or face injustices? The answer involves understanding the nature of divine protection. God does not promise a life without difficulties. He promises His constant presence through the difficulties. God's protection operates on multiple layers. Physical protection. Sometimes God protects us by preventing evil from reaching us. How many accidents have we avoided without even knowing? How many diseases has our body fought without us noticing? Spiritual protection. Even when we suffer physically, God may be protecting our soul, using the difficulty to strengthen our faith and deepen our dependence on Him. Eternal protection. God's ultimate protection is eternal salvation. No matter what happens in this brief life, those who trust in God are eternally secure. Furthermore, we live in a fallen world, affected by sin. God permits free will and the natural consequences of human actions. But even so, He works all things for the good of those who love Him. The testimony of generations. For more than 3,000 years, Jews and Christians have found in Psalm 121 an inexhaustible source of comfort and strength. Rabbis taught it to generations of Jewish children. Medieval monks copied it in illuminated manuscripts. Protestant reformers translated it into vernacular languages. Modern missionaries carried it to the ends of the earth. In synagogues, cathedrals, simple churches, and house meetings, this psalm has been sung, recited, and prayed. It has crossed cultures, crossed centuries, and remained relevant in every era. Its message is timeless because the God it describes is eternal and unchanging. Conclusion. Resting in divine protection. In a world full of uncertainties, where new threats constantly emerge, where the future seems increasingly unpredictable, Psalm 121 offers an unshakable anchor. Not a promise that nothing bad will ever happen, but something much better. The certainty that no matter what happens, you are not alone. The God who created the universe, who never sleeps, who is closer than your own shadow, who knows you by name. This God is your personal keeper. He guards your steps, protects your soul, and guarantees your eternal destiny. When the mountains before you seem insurmountable, when the dangers around seem overwhelming, when the path ahead is dark, remember the words of this powerful psalm. Lift up your eyes not just to the mountains but to the one who made the mountains. Your help comes from the Lord. Not from your own strength, not from favorable circumstances, not from luck or chance, but from the Creator of heaven and earth. And this is the most solid foundation on which you can build your life. Psalm 121 is not just an ancient text, it is a living reality. It is the very nature of God expressed in words you can hold, memorize, and declare. It is a gift from God to every generation, including yours. So, the next time you face a frightening situation, a difficult decision, an uncertain future, turn to this psalm. Let its words wash over you like cool water on a hot day. Let its promises sink deeply into your soul. And rest, truly rest, in the protection of the one who never fails. Because the Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. He will keep you from all evil. He will keep your soul. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore.